Today, I want to talk about how to better utilize your current income and how you can achieve saving more of your money and spending less of your money. Again, I am Marie Brown. This is my channel, Minds in Motion, where we talk about personal finances, investing, and how to become the best version of yourself. Let's jump into the topic. To give you guys a little background, I started working at the age of 16, and even in high school, I would consider myself an awesome saver. I opened up a savings and checkings account at the local credit union, and every 2 weeks when I got paid, I would always put a portion of my money into my savings account, and I would have a set dollar amount that I would keep and I would spend, for myself. As I got older and I became, an adult, I would say that even then I was still a amazing saver. However, when it came to what I did with the money that I saved once I was ready to spend that money, it seemed that I would always spend the money on something that wasn't of much value to me. And then once I spent that money, it always seemed that if an emergency or something that I needed to handle financially would come up, and then I would find myself in a bad situation financially. So, about 3 or 4 years ago, I was introduced to the zero balance budget method, and that's what I want to share with you guys first. So, the first step to getting yourself in a better financial situation without having to actually make more money is to create a budget. And I'm going to share with you the budget that I learned that absolutely changed my financial situation for me, and that's the zero balance budget.
When you begin your zero-based budget, you're going to start with putting all of your monthly take-home pay at the top of your page. For our family, that was $3,350. Next, you're going to start with listing all of the categories where you're spending your money. And then you're going to fill in what you've spent and what you kind of think you're going to spend. But since you're in baby step 1, you want to get a grasp of where your money's actually going. And then you're going to tweak it and tell it where it's going to start going. And that's where you're going to start feeling like you're getting control over your money. If you look ahead and you can see down at the bottom of that column, we were negative $219 a month. And really, it was more than that because we would pay that credit card bill, that $17.92. We would pay that in full every month. How we would do that was we were drawing from our savings. So every month we were siphoning off savings just to subsidize our lifestyle. And if that's how you're living as well, it's not living within your means, bottom line. So you shouldn't be touching your savings every month just to get by. So you're going to continue adding all your expenses, filling in those numbers. Some of our categories like the heating oil, that wasn't a 12-month a year expense. That was a few months out of the year. Preschool, I got off 1 month in the summer that he wasn't in school. Roth IRA is there. And some of our splurges in life, a couple bottles of wine maybe. The dry cleaners was a huge splurge for me, and haircuts, usually for the boys. My haircuts are a lot more than that, but this is, again, just going back. So now you're going to go up and you're going to start cutting. That giving category was a little high at 16%. We're going to drop that back to 10, and that's going to give us $335 for that expense. Groceries, we were a family of 3 at the time, so $500 is a lot. Let's drop this to $300. We could definitely make that happen. Again, the credit card, you're only going to pay the minimum, so we're going to drop that down to $27. If we did cut the cable, we could have dropped that down to $22. So let's do that. If you don't have term life insurance at this time, you definitely should get it. Ours was only $45 a month. You're going to stop all contributions to retirement, so that Roth IRA is going to drop to 0. Alcohol, you can definitely live without that. So we're going to drop that to 0. Dry cleaners, just until we get our finances under control, let's take that out and do some ironing at home, and I can drop that to 0. Haircuts, again, just until we get this $1,000 saved, let's cut out the haircuts as well. Take that down to 0, and you are going to feel At this point, like you just got a raise because we are now in the black at $486. While it's not our $1,000, in 3 months at this rate, we will not only have $1,000, we will have $1,458.
So now what I want to do is I want to break the zero-based budget down a little bit further. So now, as you can see here, what she did was she wrote out all of her expenses. And as you can see at the top, she has her take-home income. Well, most of us are not paid once a month. We're either paid bi-weekly or weekly, or maybe we're paid on a certain day of the month, depending on our job. So now that you know exactly how much your take-home income is versus your monthly expenses, you're going to do exactly what she did here, and that's cut back on anything that you can cut back on. As you can see here, they were over their take-home income, meaning they were living above their means, which is something that a lot of us will find when we first begin our budget. But once she looked at everything they were spending money on, and she looked at areas where they could cut back or completely eliminate those things from their expenses, they had more money left over. And with that additional money, again, you're not going to be spending that money. You're going to either be saving that money in your emergency fund, you're going to be paying off debt if you have any type of debt, or now this is the money that you can begin to invest. If you already have your emergency fund of $1,000 built up, the next thing that you want to do is work on an emergency fund of 6 months to 1 year of expenses. Now, getting back to the zero balance budget, what I would do is, now that I have all of my expenses written out and I know exactly how much money I have in comparison to how much my monthly expenses are, I would break these expenses down per pay period. So let's just say, to make it easy, if you're paid twice a month, then what you're going to do is you're going to divide each one of these expenses into two. So if you have the expense for where it says your groceries is $300 a month, you're going to take 150 out of one paycheck and then 150 out of the second paycheck, and that's how you're going to come up with your $300 a month for groceries. Where it says your auto gas, you're going to use $100 a month for gas. So again, that means it would be $50 out of one check and $50 out of the next check. If you did this for each one of your expenses, then you're going to see that it will be much easier to cover your expenses for the month, rather than just trying to pay everything all at once. You break it down per pay period. You put that money aside. A lot of people, if you watch budgeting videos on YouTube, you're going to see that people like to use the envelope stuffing strategy. Me personally, I don't like to hold a lot of cash. So what I will recommend is that you guys can use a awesome money management company called SoFi. And SoFi, they allow you to have several savings accounts inside of your main savings account. And I will leave a link in the description below where you guys can open up a SoFi account, and if you use my link, you get $25 and I get $25. Also, I will leave a card above to my review of the SoFi app so that you guys have a better understanding of what SoFi is and how it can help you better manage your money. I hope this information was very helpful to you guys today. Those of you who are looking for a way to start to better your financial situation. There are tons of resources and tons of other videos on my channel with how to, save more of your income, how to start investing, and just how to have a more positive mindset about money. Again, if you haven't yet, please be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below because it does help with the YouTube algorithm, and it is also a great way to show your support for the time that I put in making this video. Also, be sure to check out these other videos that I have listed here if you guys are just interested in personal finances, investing, and how to become the best version of yourself.